Hello everyone and welcome back to the final legend I'll be doing. Wait, there's still Momonosuke who just came out of left field. I don't know why they're having another character, but okay. Kaido versus Kaido is the main point of this video, and he is a very strong character. I did actually read up on him before the video, and he's very similar to Luffy, of course, but for the driven class, and of course he has a few different differentiations between him and Luffy that makes him a very different character to use. So he is a 5 to 6x captain based on how many drivens you have on the crew. 6 drivens mean 6x attack boost, which is very nice. 1 with 3x HP, you get tandem orbs counted as matching. And then if you have 4 more driven, you get a 10 turn rewind and paralysis reduction, which is very, very unique. We haven't had an effect like this before, where a captain reduces both rewind and paralysis. He's also going to buff increased damage taken as you give to the enemy by 0.5. Very nice. 6 drivens means you also get immunity, or you can ignore full immunity for the entirety of the quest. Bro, it's so good, bruh. It's actually so good. 6 drivens is not that hard to get, by the way, so literally any character that gives defense down or paralysis or any of these debuffs to the enemy will go through full immunity. So very strong effects we have here. And then you also get a end of turn damage, as well as a 6.5x captain if you have 6 driven characters and the enemy has 10 or more status effects. So that last bit there is very hard to fulfill. In terms of like super boss, the enemy is gonna have a lot of debuffs, especially with all the resistance down that we give the enemy these days. So this is very similar to the Yamato legend, but instead of having the requirements for how many buffs the crew has, or status effect the crew has, is now how many the enemy has. So even if you don't fulfill this, it's still a 6x captain. You just lose the ability to negate resilience with the end of turn damage. And of course he doesn't go through normal attacks only, or enemy defensive effects at the end of turn damage. But overall, very good. From his captain you alone, you can get around rewind, paralysis, as well as enemy immunity, as well as enemy resilience. Very good captain. His special is Destroyer of Death Thunderbug, or whatever you pronounce it. He's going to reduce enemies HP by 10%. Right column, through block, tandem. Left column, through block, Wano. That's very similar to Kaido versus Yamato legend, which is awesome to have. That means you can use Super-Tandem and you get very strong Wano orbs. Additionally, you get a 3.5x attack boost, but it's not a regular attack boost. It buffs existing attack boost to 3.5x. So this is awesome for weak attack boost that the enemy gives you. And then you also get a attack boost. This is a type of attack boost, by the way. We get a new one every time, and this one is going to be based on the amount of enemy the status effects the enemy has, so similar to his captain. And if they do have a 10x or 10 status effects or more, you get a 4x of this very unique attack buff. So this is going to be definitely needed in super boss. I can see it happening. So maybe you should pull for this guy, maybe get him, maybe just get lucky. And if you have 6 driven on your crew, you get a 10 turn reduction of threshold and damage reduction. That is huge. And also 2.25x increased damage taken through full immunity. Even if you don't have 6 drivens, you still get a 6 turn reduction of those enemy defensive effects, as well as a increased damage taken of 2x this time, but it doesn't go through full immunity. I mean, if you are running him as a captain in the first place and you're running 6 driven characters, okay, never mind. I was gonna say if you have his captain ability to ignore immunity, then you don't really need to have 6 driven, but you need 6 driven in his captain to have that effect. So just pretend like I said nothing. But overall, very strong. Excellent utility in his special for enemy defensive effects. And then we also have very good utility for our crew, reducing very valid and common debuffs being special rewind and paralysis. Also very easy requirements to fulfill to get the max out of his captain ability. Overall, just a really solid character for both his special and captain. But let's take a look at what he does for his crewmates, his versus effect, his Super-Tandem, and his rumble abilities. So his crewmates are very centered around buffing your driven character's base attack. Always nice to see this, and also some beneficial orb enabling, which is also very nice to see. His Super-Tandem is one of a kind, being it does not need other characters. It is purely himself. You just tap him with a tandem orb, you get Super-Tandem. Ooga booga. This is great for attack because you're not wasting any characters without having the tandem attack boost. So this is really cool. All you need to do is be at the final battle and have 4 more driven on the team, which is very easy. And you get the captain gets a Wano orb through super block. You also get a 2.5x Super-Tandem. Obviously this is maxed. And you also get your recovery tandem and Wano orbs having a higher effect. And by that I mean they will now have, wait, where am I now? They will have a 2.75x effect instead of 2x for the recovery and tandem and 2.5x for Wano. So no matter what orb you have there, it is going to be buffed. So this is obviously going to work well with orb boosts, and this is a very strong effect. So the fact that you can just start off with Kaido and get these Super-Tandem buffs right off the bat is very powerful. And I think this is going to be a signature of like very strong characters. When they have Super-Tandem, they're now not even going to need to have additional characters to activate it, which is a bit odd because I mean the whole point of Super-Tandem is that it's multiple characters joining together. But I mean, either way, it's strong and it's going to work very well in a super boss. His versus effect only needing 8 recovery or Wano orbs. This is great because that means when you are running a quest that charges your versus effect, it's going to be very easy to get that maxed ASAP. Even if you aren't getting it charged, it's very easy to get 8 orbs. Obviously not in short form content, but if you are running super boss or something like that, it's going to be very easy to fulfill this. It's going to give the enemy resistance down, 30% driven, 10% powers. If you are running a driven powers unit, they get 40% extra damage. And it also makes versus effects. Oh yeah, and it can't be removed because it is from a versus effect. I didn't know this was a thing where they can't remove it because it's from a versus effect. I think this might be new. And it also buffs your orb boosts by 1.2x. So if you're running a character, or if you have a 3x orb boost, it buffs it to 3.6x, which is a very strong buff to have. Then we have his rumble stuff, which is very strong, and I think on Dex teams, only Dex teams, he's going to be a huge asset. He is purely Dex based. If you're not running him on a Dex team, he's pretty much useless from what I've gathered. But his passive ability at level 5 is going to give a flurry of buffs to your Dex type teammates, and based on how many seconds you have left in the match, you get additional abilities. So if you're above 50 seconds in the match, so the first half of the match, you get the team getting an additional attack up of level 6 and defense up level 3 for a total of defense up level 6, attack up level 6, HP up level 6, speed up level 6 for the first 50 seconds of the match. That's a lot of buffs, right? And then below 50 seconds, he gives himself an attack up of level 8 this time. He gives the crew defense up of level 8 as well, which is very tanky. And you also get your special CT speed up of level 5 for your crewmates, meaning the specials are going to activate a lot faster. That's a really strong passive ability. And his special being 32 CT is quite high, but it's justified, trust me. Dex type teammates, attack up level 6, 25 seconds, special CT speed up of level 3 for 25 seconds, and then he targets 3 enemies who have high HP for 1.2x times his attack in damage that ignores defense, and he does this twice. So he attacks 6 people for huge damage that goes through defense, and it also there's no chance of him muffing and hitting a weak character because he specifically targets high HP enemies. So that's amazing. And then you also, once again, like his passive, based on how much time you have left, you get additional buffs. So for the first 50 seconds of the match, and you use his special, which I mean I doubt this is gonna happen because of his high CT, but I mean, it definitely is a chance of this happening. Then you get 60% chance of inflicting enemies within a large range for paralysis for 15 seconds. So that's nice to stop your enemies from attacking you with normal attacks. And then if you have 50 seconds remaining, so the latter half of the match, you get an additional 3x damage, or 3x his attack and damage to enemies within a large range. Remember, not going through defense this time, but it's still very strong, especially on top of what else he gives in his special. This character is going to be a signature of Dex teams, so if you are running mainly Dex team, then definitely go for this Kaido. He's going to be a beast in Power Rumble. But that's basically it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions about this Kaido or have any opinions, then comment them down below. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. And peace. Subscribe and like for more videos in the future. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.